Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod, Belgium's top-rated podcast, Season 7, Episode 15, live from Facebook and Twitter.
Dun, 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 dun.
Holy crap.
John.
We have 3 viewers.
A technological breakthrough.
3 viewers, is that it?
So let's back
there
up.
goes that theory.
I know, right?
Yeah. Can we?
I love Facebook.
I just want to back up a little bit.
Yeah. What's that?
I recall, maybe, I don't know, Season 3, Season 4. What do you think the first season
We're
was?
in Season
John was
7.
like,
If you're new to the show, we're in Season 7. We've had like 170 episodes.
and I remember us saying to John, or John saying to us, or one of us, whatever, discussing the fact, like, we need to get up on another platform.
Yeah. It
How
sounds
many-
really difficult.
Yeah. I was here yesterday
Yeah.
for episode
we did the test
episode
run?
14B.
Episode 14B. I've never heard of this
Yeah,
episode.
You didn't
if
see it?
Joe Hogg said
I
it
did
hasn't
not.
seen it, it's like one of those, like, you know, like when you're
The
a
lost
huge
episode?
fan, the lost episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see if Joe
B-side.
Hogg.
What was it? Was it funny?
B-sides, yeah.
No, it was terrible. It was me sitting here at my seat and John seeing if the audio worked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To see
That
if
was
the Twitter
episode 14B.
14B.
We
And
erased that episode, I hope.
probably.
We did.
We should.
Yeah,
It's
we
lost.
Oh, you had
It's
to
lost
do
in
that
the
to
ether.
test the Twitter feed?
Guess
Yeah.
how long it took?
It had to take hours.
Let me tell you this. John was like, I'm just gonna hop over on my lunch break. I hope we can get it done by the end of my lunch break.
Like, I see a lot of, like, number crunching. Like, John's typing
Yes,
away.
right.
Like,
A lot of
doing,
like
code.
thought bubbles over his head.
Like, he must have been busting his
So
ass.
I was worried because I was in a deposition and I said, look, we got a 10-minute break.
Yeah.
I said, I got it. You know, I got to get
10
back to the
minutes, we'll
deposition.
never do it. Something as complicated
Guess what?
as that.
Done.
It took 170 episodes to do something that took 10 minutes.
Well,
Are you
That's
guys
just a
done
lack
now? I'm just gonna let you guys ramble and then I'll respond.
It must have been much more difficult than Kevin is making it out.
What
right, John?
Kevin saw was the end, was like the 9th inning.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
He didn't
okay.
see the first 8 innings.
You just saw the closer.
those
Yes.
the first 8 innings were like about another 10 minutes.
Hey, I don't know
Congrats,
how long this
though, John.
stream's gonna stay up, so let's just
enjoy
let's
it
get
while we've
going
got
into
it. We don't know.
All for you.
If we drop on
Yeah,
Twitter,
right?
Yeah.
Hey, follow us while you're on Twitter, while you're over there.
maybe people
follow
are confused and they're nowhere.
Follow Go McDermott while you're at it.
That's right.
Follow me. Don't follow Go McDermott. Go McDermott and I are in a contest.
We're in a
with each other.
competition.
It's not fair. They have like 10 people
Yes,
on Go McDermott.
we're on it.
It's me. I'm like competing with. They have followers I don't have. It's like, how could you follow the campaign and not follow the candidate?
So
What
what
the
you're
hell
saying is,
that?
if you really want the real Tom,
Yeah,
do
come
at
to
Tom
me.
McDermott
It's
Jr.
a bunch of fake imposters on the other one, and
I
they're
would say
they're
don't-
getting more followers on the other one than on my.
at
the
Go
real
McDermott
thing.
has some really good content.
I'm gonna change my name
To what?
At the real
At the real Tom McDermott Jr.
T McD. What? It's not. I don't understand how you could follow the campaign website and not follow the candidate.
know where the
It doesn't
real-
make
they
it-
know where the good
it makes
content is.
I know. It's like it's not me, guys. I just want you to know. It's a group of people.
Yes.
It's like Region Rat
It's
Ranch.
a lot of money. It's like you have Tom McDermott on steroids. You have like all of us that know Tom.
yeah.
Like putting out content.
Competing with each other so they could take followers from me.
Yeah. We're like, we're going to beat this guy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, hey, thanks for bringing us on Twitter.
Great
finally.
work, John.
You're welcome.
I don't know if it did anything for our audience. It seems like we just scattered them about different platforms. Now we have lower volumes.
we have lower
on each-
everywhere.
Right. We took the 12 people that listen and like put them on 4 different channels.
Now we're at 4 each.
We have
to 3 each.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
This
now
is
Tom's
what
just
we
going to get
get.
more pissed.
Yeah, this is the response from Tom after saying like, for 100 episodes, guys, if we go live somewhere else, it's
It's
going
going
to
to
be
blow
so
up.
much better.
And now he's like, look, now all our viewers are spread out.
I'm a Cub fan. What can I say? It's always going to get better down the road, right?
Hey, we should do YouTube also.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
we,
we
do, but it's not live, right?
so that'll be season
No, we
10.
can do live.
What
We
the
can go
hell?
live on YouTube.
It must be just as difficult.
Yeah.
Right.
So we should
Oh, for
expect it in
sure.
season 10.
Season 14.
Hey, Kevin, big
Tom.
family news. So, I mean, as far as Charlie's
Oh, yeah.
athletic career,
So,
is that it? Question mark.
Uh-oh.
anyway, yeah. So
Charlie's
here's
senior in high school.
senior in high school.
Great
youngest,
athlete.
Youngest
He's been
of
a
our
great
3.
athlete his whole life, right?
He is the best athlete of the boys, I would say. No,
Ethan
not
and Aiden, they're crying.
They were
right
both
now.
good. They're
They're
both,
listening live.
They
and
were both good athletes.
They're like, my dad just talked shit about me on the air.
They were both good athletes. Charlie is really a good. He's a good athlete. He's a great athlete. He's a good athlete.
He always
Everything
was,
seems,
right?
Yeah, it seems like whatever he picks up, he's good. He's good at what he does. So anyway, senior year soccer. It's sectionals. For those of you that know Indiana high school, sectionals starts the state playoffs. One game and you're out. And I don't want to belabor this, but for soccer fans will understand this. It's a soccer game. 1-1 at the half, 2-2 after full time, 3-3 after extra time, and Charlie was the last kicker in the first 5 penalties. He made it. That tied it. They went into sudden death penalties, and they lost in the first kick. So it was a crazy, from a fan's perspective, it would have been an awesome game to watch. From a parent's perspective, anxiety-ridden.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, good job, Charlie. I'm proud of him, and that's the end of his high school career. It came down in a crushing defeat.
And his last
He's not a
kick.
swimmer? Or
Last
I thought
kick
all
was
your
a-
kids were swimmers.
No, just Aiden. Yeah, so
Charlie's
They're all the
fast.
same to
He's
me,
always
honestly.
fast, right?
quick, good with his feet. He's a good player. I got a very, very, very kind text from the Morton coach the next morning telling how great Charlie played, and he's a great player. And he said he really needs to think about playing in college, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Right.
Those things are tough.
His last kick in high school was
A goal on penalty.
pretty badass.
Yeah, pretty good. So,
Yeah.
congrats to Morton. They were a really good competitor, and good luck to him on Saturday night in sectionals.
For those of you that know Kevin and Jana, I always knew that Kevin's kids were all really good athletes, and I always thought it was because Kevin must have been a good athlete in high school. And then I realized how much of a badass Jana is. I saw her, when she did the triathlon with me. I saw her in numerous races, just kicking everybody's butt, taking first place in all of her, age groups, and a lot of women overall award. And then I realized, Kevin had nothing to do with all of his great success with his kids and their athleticism.
They're
It's
tall.
all-
They're
this when you're
probably
gonna-
tall because of
Okay,
Kevin,
I'll give
though.
him that. The tall came from Kevin, but the badass, grinding athleticism came from Kevin's wife, Jana. So let's just be honest, right?
This is when you're going to bring up my
That's a spade, a
0-20
spade.
basketball season senior year. I was the captain of that team.
Were you?
I was.
Yeah. It's all right.
Hey, we
Yeah.
have 10 people on Twitter. That's pretty good.
What?
Whoa!
Double digits.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Boom.
Twitter
Follow
followers.
me, please. Don't follow McDermott for Indiana.
At Thomas McDermott Jr.?
At-
Is that it?
No, it's at Atomic D3469.
No.
What?
No,
Is
no,
it?
no,
No, at Thomas
no,
McDermott.
no. Look at
See, I
Kevin
don't even know where to
scoring.
send them.
It's
I don't even know
not.
where to
Kevin's
send
like,
them.
"Dear God,
Kevin,
no."
could you
help
tell them
you.
what my Twitter is?
Tom McD69. Is that what you said?
No, that's my email address for the record.
You don't
All right,
need-
take it easy.
No, it's
Keller.
at Tom McDermott Jr.
That's the one it is.
Yeah, not at Go
Not Go
McDermott.
McDermott.
That's the one you. No,
Is that your shadow
the
account?
the campaign
That's
account
the
is
fake
at Go
account.
McDermott.
The fake account is at Go McDermott.
You just
I
troll
am at
people with
Tom
that other
McDermott.
one?
Yeah, it's a group of
right.
people acting like me. I can't control
Yes.
these things. I asked Twitter to eliminate them, but
You
they're
re-
not listening.
and
you
you know why?
reported your
This-
campaign.
This
yeah,
goes.
I supported my campaign. They're acting like me, Jill. It's not right.
This goes back to who got the blue check mark first. And the
that was
reality,
bullshit.
Oh.
That's when I got salty. See, we've been in a competition ever since.
the campaign account got a blue check mark during the congressional race.
It pissed me off. They jump in front of me, act like me, and then the blue check mark goes to them, and I'm sitting there like a schmuck, like the real Tom McDermott.
Tom got a blue check mark during the Senate race.
Finally,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's basically, for those who are listening and want to know, if you want to follow the real Tom McDermott, it's at Tom McDermott Jr., at Tom McDermott Jr.
That's me,
Yes.
not the other one. It's
Better
imposters.
content on Go McDermott, at Go McDermott, but that's for you to
Better
decide.
content if you like edgy stuff not approved by the campaign team. Go
Then
to Tom McDermott.
yeah, I agree with that.
The one that we're like, oh my God, Kevin, you got to call
Did
the
he
mayor.
really just post that?
No, he pulled it down 3 times. Don't worry
So
about
let's see.
it.
The fart joke, the Todd Young in bed, those all went at Tom McDermott Jr. Not on the campaign.
And
side.
when you pull it down, it doesn't matter. It still
It's
gets
still-
reported
yes.
in media outlets.
People
so,
know.
Yeah.
Look at this.
The
Hi
internet
from
is forever.
Mishawaka.
Hi, Mishawaka.
Billy
All right. Love
Harkins.
it.
Look at this. We're already reaching different people.
Beyond.
We're moving out. Hey, I was in Indianapolis last week, and I ran into a lady that was salty as soon as I met her. Salty with me, and I was like, it usually takes years before people get that salty with me. But
Years?
she was salty right off the bat, and I'm like, "What's the matter, ma'am?" And she said, it was down in Indy, and she said, "I hated that article that they wrote about you." And it's the one where, and I've received this a couple times, so I know what she was talking about, but I'll explain it to you. It was the one where the Indy Star article where Caitlin Lang followed me around for a couple days, for hours, basically, hanging out with me, watching how I interact. They wrote a comprehensive article. It's the biggest one I've ever seen written about me.
It's like a feature.
Right. It was great. I thought it was a great article.
Front page.
I thought she did a very good job. It was fair. It was tough. I thought it was perfect. But the thing that I got tons of shit on was the Trump-like campaign, how they described my campaign.
And by the way, that was a headline.
It was a headline. Right.
It was like, mayor runs Trump-like campaign for Senate or something like that.
And it pissed Democrats off.
Yeah.
Pissed.
It was weird. It was like,
There's Democrats that wouldn't even read the article.
like,
'cause
why are
it
you
said
posting this?
that. I know. It's like, first off, it's the biggest article ever written about me.
Yeah.
I can't control the headline, but this is an article and we want people to read it.
The headlines are written by the editor, not even the reporter.
Right. The reporter didn't even write it. Caitlin didn't even write it.
And
But
surely
I tell
you didn't write it.
So, it's weird. There seems to be thought in our campaign where some people would have been attracted to that in Indiana. That headline would draw them to read the article, and and then there's a thought that there's a lot of people that are caught behind a paywall and basically didn't get to read the article. They just saw the headline and got pissed off, like screw this McDermott guy, right? I don't know. Interesting though.
Yeah, I think it's. I saw a lot of the comments, and you see a lot of the hardcore Democrats like, why would you be proud of this? Why would you want to even post this? Why would you? It's like just read the article,
right?
Because I think when you read the article, you understand why. Like the editor probably wrote that. It's not that Tom McDermott is like Donald Trump, because we all know where Tom stands on Donald Trump. I mean, he said that before, but it's about just being outspoken and real, and maybe just not so molded into what people don't like about Washington D.C. I think that's the thing, right? I mean, we all couldn't
get a perfect, using Caitlin's words, perfect juxtaposition to Todd Young is me.
That's right.
You got one extreme, you got conservative Republican,
buttoned up,
polished, buttoned up, perfect hair, perfect teeth, perfect family, perfect everything, and then you got me on the other end. Wearing a Grateful Dead shirt, celebrating the fact that pot was federally legalized yesterday.
Oh, we're going to get to that, right?
I mean, it wasn't legalized, but
no. Let's not all go crazy now.
But that's what I'm saying,
right? I think that's the point, and I don't
appreciate the way you pointed at me like that.
No,
I go, and then you got me, and Kevin's like, this freaking mess over here.
Pointing at the shirt.
This freaking mess of a candidate.
I was pointing at the shirt, which I like. That, by the way, I love the shirt.
I love the shirt.
Yeah,
I was saying before I got on, I got the dancing bears on my sleeve. That would be a cool tattoo.
The rainbow dancing bears.
Yeah, rainbow dancing bears down your arm.
For those of you that are looking for a new tattoo, Mayor Tom has just indicated the rainbow dancing bears would be good. I'm sure people have that.
I'm going to bust that out in my 70s.
I'll
show up to work one day, everybody will be like, what?
On your chest.
I got like rainbow dancing bears going down my arm. I would go down the sleeve. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Do you think anyone has a McDermott tattoo?
Oh.
Not yet.
Not yet. That would be something.
One day.
Maybe someone's got the boxing glove.
I have his Twitter handle on my thigh, McDermott 69.
Which one? Which one?
That's on your really lower back.
The Dark Tom one.
The Dark Tom.
I should have like a Dark Brandon meme for me.
Oh, Dark Tom.
Dark Tom. That'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe they'll work on it. Maybe you know what? You'll see it on Echo McDermott. Twitter.
Just share it off of there.
Echo McDermott. They're imposters. I think that's the summary of the whole first part of the show. So. Why don't we
got some ads. We're going to come back. We've actually got, I think, a really good show. We're going to talk about.
I think it's going to be okay.
Yes, I went down that road.
Thank you, Zach.
We've got a great show.
One of the quotes of the campaign.
Quote of the campaign.
I think it's going to be all right.
I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's going to be okay.
I don't know if it's going to be okay, but I think it might be okay.
Well, we've got a good show today. How about that? That's more definitive. We've got a great show today.
Got a very good show.
First show on Twitter. We're going to actually talk about kind of a sad situation this week with both Senator Todd Young and the mayor, and move on from there. And we're going to finish it on a high note with the Biden administration and its marijuana move yesterday.
Bam.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Look at you, Kevin.
How about that?
Note.
How about that?
I like it.
All right. I finished.
That's how we do it in the biz, Jill.
Here at LockPod.
That we're a part of.
Now that we're live on Twitter.
Yeah.
We've stepped our game up. I feel like we've stepped it up today.
We are big time. We got like 6 live viewers right now on Twitter. That's right. If we double every show, we'll have 24 in like 3 weeks.
Can you imagine if, so tomorrow I'm going to check the analytics of the Facebook stream and the Twitter stream. If Tom is right and like the Twitter stream ended up getting more views, even post live, what a day that will be, man.
It sure will.
Yeah.
When will we get those results?
Season 8.
Season 8. I'm going to look tomorrow.
John's be like, you know what? You remember when we first went on Twitter?
That's going to take us a long time.
No, a 24-hour recap.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
All right. Calumet Brewing. We welcome you to try Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer brewed for those who understand that it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Containing only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and a 4.2 alcohol beverage by volume, ABV. Michelob Ultra is a light lager brewed with the perfect balance of hops, hope, and wholesome grains, producing a light citrus aroma and a crisp, refreshing finish. I'm sort of thirsty, actually. Check out our social media for details on this great family of beers. Enjoy the ultra lifestyles and cheers with beers responsibly.
Thank you.
Who's going to do the commercial?
I was waiting for Joe. Byway Brewing.
You never tell me which one I'm supposed
friendly
to do.
microbrewery.
We're like sitting here looking at each
with
other.
a spacious tap room. and outside patio. Our brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, or corporate parties. They're conveniently located off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu, which I enjoyed last Saturday. It was as always unbeatable, the menu. For more information, check out bywaybrewing.beer.
What did you get? What did you get?
I got the OG, which is my favorite burger.
I have a complaint.
Okay.
I always get the hatchet when I go there.
Yeah.
They do not put the pasta in there anymore.
Dave Westland had the same complaint.
Dude.
Whoa.
Biden.
Yeah. There's a shortage, supply chain issue on pasta.
It's Biden.
No, you're
Dude,
right.
When Trump was president, there was French fries overflowing.
Mm-hmm. Pasta in the hatchet.
Pasta everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, I'm glad you read that like that, Kevin, where you added a personal experience to it.
Yeah.
I noticed that's what everyone does with their
On
ads.
podcasts,
We have
yeah.
to start doing that. Like Tom's got to be like, I was cracking open some Michelob Ultras
This morning.
This morning.
Yeah, right.
You got to add the personal touch.
Well,
Jill, you're
yeah,
up.
Jill.
Here
Well,
we
I
go.
have
Customer
the,
insurance
Ron
agency.
J.
Tell us your insurance
I got
story.
this horrible accident.
maimed.
Maimed. And a customer insurance agency saved me.
Yeah, they've fun fact, they've been located for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond, serving all of your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and a lot more than that. The Pressemer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses in all Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron, Ronnie, or Michael at 219-844-0103.
Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured? Are you in trouble with the law? If so, give us a call, John and Kristen, and schedule a consultation today with somebody who is in the court or at the jail every single day. That's right. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW. That's 219-554-4529. Or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Thank you to our sponsors. And I do want to mention, before I forget, because I don't like Serbian women mad at me, I promised Vera Malusnik that I would say this. Saturday, October 15th at the Civic Center, Hammond Civic Center, is Fight Night. If you want to go see some boxing, Hammond Civic Center, go to Hammond Boxing Club's Facebook page.
Hey, Tom.
Yo.
So I get to monitor like 3 different chats now over here.
Oh, nice.
On everything.
Chaos.
This was a pretty cool comment. Updated my voter registration just so I could vote for you. How about that? Look at
Thank
that.
you.
Look at that.
By the way,
I met somebody yesterday that withdrew their voter registration. So, yeah.
It just cancels
Okay.
out.
Yeah, that cancels out that vote. Yeah.
so just as,
Kevin looked at
Can
me
you
real
do
I was
seriously.
like, a public service
I don't want to be a
announcement.
voter anymore
I was like,
because
what?
I met Mayor McDermott and I am out.
I read the headline.
It was the end of
was the
democracy.
Trump headline.
Yeah, right.
This is a good public service announcement, though. For those of you who may have moved, who may have changed your name because you got married or divorced, or any other, if you never registered before, maybe you just turned 18. If you're going to turn 18, go register. The last day to register is October 11th, which is Tuesday. Do not screw around. Get registered. Go to indianavoters.com, indianavoters.com, and get registered now. If you think of anybody that may have just moved into your neighborhood, somebody who just got married, who changed their name, get them registered, indianavoters.com.
It's a scientific fact that out of all new voter registrations, 78% of them are going to vote for me. So,
Boom.
Scientific fact.
I like that.
I know.
You'd
It's
be
been
amazed
studied.
at how many people just walk into our polling locations and just expect to be able to vote. And are
Well,
not
I mean,
registered.
right. I mean, I think this is
Really?
a great example.
Oh, absolutely.
People,
Multiple.
right? I mean,
Every
you got,
election.
please
Wow.
get the word out. If you ask your neighbors if you see them on the street. Hey, it's an important election. Are you registered? Help them get registered. Anybody you know. It's
Hey, how
important.
many followers do we have on TikTok? The campaign. Does the campaign have a
10,000.
10,000
Boom,
followers?
Boom,
Yeah.
boom.
How
Why
many
aren't we
do-
live on
How
there?
many do you have?
I would want to go live on TikTok.
Yeah,
On
John.
TikTok,
Why aren't we?
I don't have hardly any personally on TikTok because I don't do anything that's really that exciting.
Let's
other
see
than
if we can go
campaign.
live on
I
TikTok.
mean, it's
later.
I don't
important for the
dance.
campaign.
I don't
think
look
it's-
good
right.
naked, like or half naked. So like I would be.
There's a
horrible
Don't have-
fetish
you don't
for
have a cat.
everything out there.
Really?
You would be fine.
They're like, I am into chubby 53-year-old men
Grateful Dead shirts.
with Grateful Dead shirts. Yeah.
There's a group for that on TikTok, I'm sure. Thank you, Steve Sursik, for putting the indianavoters.in.gov. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's one place. You can go to indianavoters.com as well. It redirects. So let's get into this, though. Tom, you
get
had a
into
hard. I know we've had a fine, jovial, laugh,
Yeah.
hearty time, but you had a kind of a rough week.
Definitely a rough week. It's a strange week on the campaign trail. It started off, I believe it was Monday morning when I heard about Senator Young, his father Bruce, passing away at the age of 77, which was unexpected from what I understand. And obviously, Senator Young was devastated, obviously, and I felt like I wanted to be a human being about the whole thing, and we weren't campaigning and we weren't talking about Senator Young that day, obviously, out of respect. And I sent a message to him, and I didn't want to tweet it or anything because I thought it would look political if I retweeted the article where I heard about his father. And so I went onto his page, his campaign page, and I posted a comment to the effect of, Marissa and I are thinking about you and your family. I'm really sorry to hear about your father. And I didn't expect to hear anything. And I also have Senator Young's cell phone number, and we've communicated in the past, and I sent it to him, a message that was similar. Didn't expect to hear back from him. And then about a day later, I got a phone call from my sister in California at 3 a.m, which is not lovely. 3 a.m. phone calls from mayors are either something bad with your family, something bad with police, something bad with fire. Not really many other phone calls you're getting at 3 a.m. are good news.
Yeah, agreed.
So I answered it, and I'd been tipped off earlier that day by my sister Tina. She's my sister in California, and she said, "Hey, Bill's taking a turn for the worst. He's in hospice, and he's and for those of you Bill raised, helped raise me when I was a baby. Bill was my father in California. Obviously, I had my dad in Indiana. My dad and mom divorced when I was very young. So I grew up in Bill's house, basically, and he provided for us really well, and he treated me like his son. And so I had a really good life. And then when Bill and my mom divorced, that's when things got rough for me personally, and it got rough for my mom because we were financially insecure, for a long time. But Bill was always part of my life, and for 10, 12 years, I lived with him, and he was, he taught me how to bowl. He was the reason I love Mustangs is Bill. Bill has a 68 fastback.
You still have that.
He still has it.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And you have your Mustangs.
I have a couple, yeah. But he loved the fact that I always drove Mustangs, and I had a 66 when I was in school, so I've always been close to Mustangs.
And even after, I know this just because we're friends, but even after Bill and your mom broke up, you stayed close with him.
Oh, yeah.
In touch with him
Throughout
your whole life.
My whole life. Yeah. And then and this guy is super tough, man. He worked in a tannery, which at the time people didn't realize that if you work in a tannery, I always loved going there to visit him. First off, because this is in the 70s, they were very politically insensitive. Let's just say they had a lot of pictures on the walls that little boys like to look at when they were little. This was the 70s, right? You'd get sued for that stuff nowadays.
Yes.
But back then, I would be like a little kid, oh my God, I love this
Bill,
place.
can I come back to work with you?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then another thing about work at the tannery, and it was right in Napa, it smelled like super strong alcohol. That was the tanning. It was that's how they tanned the leathers. Yeah. And I loved the smell. And Bill was around that smell every day of his life for his whole professional career, and he developed cancer because of it. Bladder cancer is particularly acute in tannery workers, and it's from that smell.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and so he gets bladder cancer when he's 50. Now, Bill is one of those guys that grew up and smoked every day of his life, 2 packs, his whole life. He started smoking when he was 14. Right. It was one
not
of
uncommon in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah,
right?
He was born in the late 40s. Yeah. So he was a smoker, a drinker, hung out with his boys, lived in Napa his entire life till the day he died. So the fact is he has just tons of friends, smoking, drinking, partying. When my mom and him were married, I just remember parties all the time at our house, and we had a great house. It was a good, entertaining house. I remember we were always the center of the social life. And I was locked in the room upstairs always, but so he had tons of family, and he had a active life. And then when he got diagnosed with cancer, he stopped smoking cold turkey, a guy that smoked 2 packs.
That's not easy.
He stops when he was 50. Boom, never smoked again. But the damage was done. Mm-hmm. He gets diagnosed with emphysema, and literally for the last 20 years of his life was battling cancer and emphysema. And then I remember, this is how tough the guy is. I remember getting a phone call. This is 2008, 2010. I'm in New York, and I get a phone call that he's taking a turn for the worse. He's gonna die, and I need to get to California. And I'm out in New York. I flew across the country. It devastated me. And then he pulled out. And then they were like, this guy's he's got emphysema. He's got cancer, even though he made it. And this is 2010.
Wow.
Even though he made
That's
it.
12 years ago.
He's this guy's quality of life. This guy's gonna, realistically, he's not gonna live a long life. He lived freaking 13 more years after that. He was battling his ass off his whole life. He's still bowling, doing everything. And he got to the point, like, this guy could have been a pro bowler. I'm dead serious. Like, I learned from him. That's why I'm a good bowler. But, like, we'd have pro bowler tours come through Napa and go to our bowling alley. And I knew how Bill rolled. Like, I knew what he would bowl in that house. And then you'd have pros come in, and they'd win the tournament, and they would be, like, lower average than Bill carried. And I'm like, why don't you go pro? Like, you're better than these guys.
Right.
And granted, that's our house. They're coming to our house, and that was where he bowled his whole career. And granted, when you go on the road, it's probably tougher because you don't know the different bowling alleys. But he was better than them in our house. And I'm like, go on the tour. Like, you'd be a pro bowler. And he was always that guy that's like,
humble, too humble.
Nah, that's
that
not
just
me.
Wasn't his game.
He's great, though. It was amazing. He bowled up until literally like a year ago.
I like how you use bowling terms like house and roll.
Yeah,
and
I used to bowl a lot.
I used to bowl a lot. Little thing you don't know about Mayor Tom.
Yeah, I used to bowl a lot. But anyway, so he takes like a year ago. I bowled with him and he was on oxygen for the end of his life. He would literally, it was like scuba diving. He would be on the oxygen, and then when it was his turn to bowl, he'd take a big inhale, like, and he'd go out there and he'd bowl. And if he got a strike, he'd come back and he's good. If he if he didn't get a strike, he'd come back, then go out there and go pick it up, and then come back. And that was how he bowled. And all of his friends just loved him and wanted to keep bowling. So
I know when you going out there, I know that when you went out there in your adult life, you guys always bowled.
He took me to the bowling alley, made sure I knew how to do it. Still, if I bowled with somebody right now, I'd bowl a 200 in 3 games, no doubt about it. Like, I'm good at it. I was
get
really
Mayor Tom
good.
on the celebrity bowling team.
He honestly thought I was going to be a pro, and then I met girls.
You met a pro. You became a pro in something else.
But anyway, so he took a turn for the worst about 6 months ago, and actually maybe a few months ago over the summer, and I actually got a chance to go out and visit him, and I knew basically it was my final trip to see him. I knew that I was saying goodbye. He had received permission, and I sort of talked about this on the show. He received permission from the state of California to kill himself legally. You have to go through a process. He went through the process. Suicide. And I was like, when I heard that, I was like, I got to get out there. And I was like, hey, I'm coming out in like 2 weeks. And he's like, good. I can't wait to see you. And I went out there, and like the last time I talked to him, I knew it was the last time I was going to talk to him. And Patrick was with me on that trip. And I like told him everything you need to say to somebody before they die. Yeah. And it was brutal. I was bawling. Everybody in the room was bawling, but I told him that I loved him and I wouldn't be where I was without him. And I got to say all that to him, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I know it's emotional for you now too, man.
No, I mean, it's a cool way to go out. Like, well, it's good. And I wanted him to freaking hear it. I was like, I was going to say, you were important.
A lot of people, they pass away and the family doesn't get to talk to them. Yeah. This is one of those times where you're able to do that. So.
I literally told him, I was like, look at me. I'm running for U.S. Senate. There's no freaking way in hell I'd be running for U.S. Senate if it wasn't for you. He was just a blue collar kid in Napa, and he married a lady that had a kid, and he took me in and treated me like a kid, like his own son.
Yeah, and I think, stepdads that do that are commended because there's a lot of...
My wife does that.
Yeah, good point, right?
My wife, Marissa, does that with my kids, you know?
You've had it on both ends of your life.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I find so attractive about my wife is she treats Lindsay and Chase. Most people think Lindsay and Chase are Marissa's biological kids, and that's not the case. Marissa adopted them for the most part.
Step-parents are real important.
So anyway, Bill was a badass. He was blue collar. He never went to college, but he was a badass, and he changed my life. And he could have been an asshole stepdad and never paid attention to me, and that wasn't him. He just took me in and treated me like his own kid, and so it was hard losing him.
And I know, Mayor, you've had a lot of condolences from around the state, and one of the people that did was Senator Young. I think that was part of the where we were.
It was
going
nice of him. Yep. Senator Young and I communicated back and forth. We texted each other. We talked to each other, and he was being a human being, and so was I.
Was this that picture from that trip, Tom? The last trip you were on?
No, that was one before that. I thought that was going to be the last trip I saw with him, and that's so on my right arm. That's Chris. That's Bill's current. That's his widow, and then Marissa and I, and that's Bill. And you can see the oxygen bottle he's on there. Yeah. And that when I saw him the last trip, he'd lost probably 15 pounds. He was skinny and sick, and it sucked to see him that last time, but. I was determined to make everybody cry, and I did a good job. I did, and everybody heard it, and it was brutal. I was it was like I had a script in my head, and I was like, I'm going to tell him everything I want him to hear, and he was bawling, and I was bawling, and everybody was bawling, and then we hugged, and I talked to him a couple more times after that, but it was almost after that, because he knew I was going back on the campaign trail, and I knew that probably he wasn't going to make it to Election Day.
Right.
So when I left, I was just sort of I love you. Goodbye. And he was, and I talked to him a couple more times, but when I talked to him, he was whacked out. Like, the hospice is, and the thing is, honestly, he didn't want to do suicide because of family reasons. And I think that it was, honestly, we probably got one more month with him, month and a half. But the fact is, he wasn't in control of his own destiny. I didn't like that part, but it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, and it's an interesting discussion. I know you've had it with your family, but I think, again, one of the cool things about your story with Bill in his final days was you were able to talk to him, and I know you're going to cherish that. So.
And Pat, like, you know, because my kids, like, Bill was important to me when I was younger than Pat. So, like, my kids living out here in Indiana aren't as close to Bill, obviously, because he, you know,
right,
like, he was important to me until I was like 15, right? And then my kids are, you know, out here in California. So, you know, bringing Pat out there for that last trip, he was balling too. Man, it was rough. So,
well, it's good to see. I'm sure it was good for Pat to see your relationship with him too.
But it's weird, like, both the Democrat and the Republican nominee for U.S. Senate both lose their fathers in the same week, and you know, my stepfather and Todd's biological father, and you know, it was nice that we communicated and we're human beings to each other.
Well,
and I do want to say
that.
thank you to Todd, and I'm really sorry for him and his family, and I appreciate him reaching out, and I hope he appreciates me reaching out, and I want him to know that I was doing that low profile because I wanted him to know I was thinking about him, and it turned into a public thing, but it was not meant. If I wanted it to be a public thing, I would have tweeted it or something.
Right.
And I didn't. I was trying to be like low profile.
And some things are about politics, and that's one of them, family. So,
yeah.
All right. Well,
by the way, Jennifer Ruth Green reached out last night also. It was nice of her. She put it out there about me and John Cannon from Portage and Todd Young all losing our fathers in the same week. And, you know, it was a weird week, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, let's, you know, obviously.
Yeah, sorry if I
condolences,
brought
Mayor,
everybody down. It was a tough week, and I know we were being super funny, and it's weird because people are asking me, are you doing all right? And I obviously wasn't doing all right on the first day, but it's definitely easier when you know how much pain they were in. And Bill was in pain, and Bill was not Bill anymore. He was just like a guy laying there heavily sedated, you know? So, like, it was easier in that regard. It's like a relief, sort of, you know?
Yeah, well, again, Mayor, you know, obviously condolences are coming in from around the state and here, too, in Lockpod family. So we're going to come back right after ads. We're going to do some banjo with Mayor Tom on the road and talk about marijuana.
Let's
if you
go.
want to heal your pain.
You know, I know it's sort of down right now, but once you hear those banjos, you know, we're right back on. We're right back on. So let's go ahead.
All right.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Tri Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Tri Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. They're dedicated to assisting their clients with their systems integration needs. Tri Electronics has the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Tri Electronics today at 800-722-6793 for your end-to-end communications needs. Thank you, John. On Twitter now.
Oh. The Lake County Electricians Training Center is seeking applications for the Electrical Apprenticeship Program. If you're a person who enjoys working with your hands in a challenging and ever-changing environment, the Electrical Apprenticeship could be for you. This apprenticeship opportunity provides tuition-free education along with paid on-the-job training. Successful applicants will be looking to make a long-term commitment to their new careers. To learn more about the apprenticeship programs, please visit apply697.com.
Misprint Printing. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience and technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing, sign solutions, and damn right, metal business cards. Rick Baltonsberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana markets for over 30 years. They have 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and in Hammond. Misprint Printing. A sponsor of Lockpod from the very beginning.
There you go.
Thank you, Misprint. And
Thank
Rick
you to
Baltonsberger.
our sponsors.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. And look what's happening. Mayor Tom is on the road. I feel like that's like a Grateful Dead dance. Goes well with the shirt.
Love those banjos, man.
Great banjo.
They're growing on me.
Kyle
agree.
nailed it. What can I say?
He did.
Good
It's
job,
it was
Kyle.
a
Good work.
good. It's a good.
Kyle, the
Maritime on the road.
intern,
It's
got his shit together.
took him 7 seasons, but we think we
We
finally
got good
him,
banjo now.
Got him going in the right direction.
So
I love how you hated that banjo selection at first.
Was that
Yeah.
the same one?
Yes.
It
No,
was the very
it was
first one he
not.
played.
Yeah.
No, it was the
it's
second one.
Second one. Okay.
Really?
The
All
first
right.
one was.
I liked. Let me
You still
play
have
the first
that?
one
All
again.
right. Yeah. No way.
I'm cutting
That's
it.
like you walking out of a door or something.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
not on the. It's not like
Kyle nailed the.
that's like the John
Maritime on
Gregg
the road.
walking on the porch
on the
banjo.
porch. On the porch.
This is the
right.
yeah. So all right, where'd you go?
First off, before we get to Maritime on the road, interesting development occurred this week, Jill.
I can't wait to hear it.
We did something that we've never done before in a campaign, and I've been doing this 70,000 miles approximately. Mm-hmm. We had
You got a flat tire.
Nope, no flat tires. That's
Okay.
dude. Don't jinx me. That's a freaking nightmare. Yeah, no shit.
All right.
Dr. Forite was my driver.
Oh,
Yep.
Right when they legalized marijuana. No.
Yeah.
it isn't legal.
Not in
legal.
Indiana. Not until
Dr. Forite
2060.
on the road.
Dr. Forite was my driver.
For
So
those
I'm
of you that
so
don't know about
sorry.
Dr. Forite driving, go ahead.
first off, Dr. Forite has a lot of nice cars. Mm-hmm. So we were driving his brand new
It's
Audi,
his passion. One of his
You know,
passions.
the-
One of
which-
his passions.
which it's a nice Audi.
I think it's an S6 or an S4. I think he's got in his garage.
It's like whatever the nice
he'll
one.
let us know.
Whatever
but
the
yeah.
nice one is.
Yeah. So
Aren't
Something
all
special.
Audis nice?
It's like
This
something
one's, like,
special though.
top
He's
of the
got
line.
like it. Not only is it like the souped up version, it's
Yeah.
like the S version, but it's also like he's got it like customed.
It's
So
nice.
really,
So I'm
really
guessing you
nice.
got there in record time.
well, it depends because like sometimes he's driving like 50
and talking,
and talking,
right, and not paying attention,
and then like 10 minutes later he's going 112.
and also not paying attention, and also
no,
like
it's
whoa,
still talking,
yeah,
right?
it's still talking.
Yeah, like that's the thing. So like, you have to like just strap in. He's like, "Why are you wearing a crash helmet?" I'm like, "Hey, just don't mind me.
You're driving.
You're messing up my hair." But so you have to deal with the excessive speeds changes, and then Forite walks out of his house, and this dude, I go to concerts with him all the time. Dr. Mike and I are friends. He always has. Every time he has a purse. First off, it's a man purse,
Yeah.
filled with hundreds of things.
Extraneous
It's like a
material.
sack.
It's
It's like a satchel.
He knows everything that's in it too. So like he walks
Was
out
it
of
on
his
a
house.
stick, Kevin? Like
It's
like
a
a
big
hobo?
purse, Jill. It's like if you're gonna go away for a weekend purse and you like took all your shit with
It's got
you,
a
right?
strap.
So
It's got a
luggage.
zipper. It's got a lot of pockets.
So he comes out of the house. He's got literally 300 things in his purse.
Yeah, I mean,
And he fucking spills it in the back seat as
Yeah,
soon
of
as he
course.
gets there. And he's
Of
like,
course.
right?
so that's all over the back seat.
Right. And I'm like, we're freaking late already. And I'm like, Forite, like, we got to get going, dude. Like,
that's
it's
by
like,
definition you're late.
right? So,
Right.
like, he's like, oh, but my shit's all over the back seat. And, like,
Is he trying to clean it up and stuff?
yeah. And then I'm like, let's just drive. You don't need the shit
We
in the
can
back
deal with
seat.
that
We'll deal with
later.
that when we get
Right,
there, right?
right.
So he drives and we're doing the speed changes and we're talking. And we get there on time. I have to give him because he did rally on the highway.
Yes.
Let's just leave it that way. He rallied, got me there. And so we get to the place. And first off, this is in another one in the nice neighborhoods in Indianapolis, the governor's mansion area, right? So we get out, and this is a long driveway. We pull in, go to the back, and it's like, whoa, big backyard, humongous mansion house.
Wow.
We're like, well, this is gonna be nice, right? So Forey gets out, and like, he's stuff's all over the back seat, and he's like walking in with the campaign, the stuff he did in week one.
Where
here.
are those? Wait.
Yeah. But he has all of them in his hands. He's like, I'm going to hand these out to everybody in there. And I'm like, dude, like, you can't just, like, drop this. Like, Zach's going to freak out.
these?
The
Yeah.
calorie thing?
And I'm like, and I love it. The trading cards, right?
Yes, the trading cards.
He's
Put it
walking
on
in
the
with them.
dessert table.
Oh, wait.
And I'm like, Mike, like, you're going to have to work with Zach before you just start dropping this on the public. We can't just, like, surprise. I don't know what's in everything in there. What if there's something in there that's horribly offensive or something? We haven't, right? I'm like, dude,
What
you
could
can't
there be
just-
on a calorie
And
card
it's got
that's
the
horribly
McDermott.
offensive?
It's got the McDermott for Indiana logo
Yeah.
on it and all that. So I'm like, dude,
It's like sex will burn 200
Yeah.
calories.
yeah, right.
This position is 400 calories.
So I
Try
told
doggy.
Forey
He
before you
He
drop
just
this
printed
on,
the Karma Sutra or what? Like,
right? So I
with the
said, hey,
McDermott logo on it.
before you do this, you're gonna have to talk to the campaign manager, my man. Like, you can't just drop this on the public. So he's like, whatever. So we go in and we do the fundraiser, and he gets me home, and I'm like, good. And he's like, I want to do it again. I'm like, yeah,
Great.
it was definitely the Forite zone.
Right, right.
I'm definitely down because it's
The
a
Forite
it's
zone.
a change in the pace for sure when I go with Forite.
We need like a Twilight Zone audio for that.
That's
John.
a good one.
Yeah.
We
The
do.
Forite Zone.
When Forite walks in. So the classic part is this though. He calls me up the next day. Hey man, I think I left my wallet at that
Oh
house.
God, that is
like,
so foreign.
I'm like, you left the wallet in the house. Yeah, I'm pretty
3
sure I
hours
did.
away.
In the house. Like, why would he
In
even...
Indianapolis.
Why would it leave his wallet?
In
In the
pocket.
house.
Like, I'm like...
I placed it on the counter
I'm
and I
like,
forgot it.
Mike, I go, you spilled all your shit in the back seat. Have you checked? I checked the back seat. It's not in the car. I'm like, are you sure, Mike? Because I don't want to call this lady up and be like, hey, Dr. Mike left shit in your house.
Remember the guy
right?
with all the shit in his hands
Yeah.
and he walked in? That
He
guy.
left something.
Big surprise. He lost his wallet.
Sure as shit. He left his wallet at her house. We
He found it?
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
God,
his
that is
wallet went
great.
through like the McDermott for Indiana like backtrack to get to the region because we do have people driving all
Right.
over the state.
Right.
So like people were making connections. This damn wallet traveled like 400 miles to get back to the region, and I successfully gave it to him last night.
Wow. Was he happy?
Yeah.
It's like, was he just like, hey,
And he
thanks?
goes, thanks for doing this, man. I appreciate it. I said, oh, you gave me a good bit for Lockpod. So thank you.
Is he the Kramer of your group?
For
Yes.
sure, without a doubt.
I think that's a really,
That's a really good way to put it. He
Dr.
is
Mike is
definitely the
Kramer,
Kramer.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to put it out.
Yes.
I've never even thought about that. But he is definitely Kramer.
And I
No
gotta-
doubt.
That's
It'd be
great.
Kramer stoned off his ass, though.
We don't know that he
Now that
wasn't.
he's retired.
He's retired doctor. I mean,
Yeah,
you
you're
know.
like, he doesn't even. Actually, shout out to Dr. Mike. He actually got Charlie a little bit ready out of an injury for a soccer game. So thank you. But when
Yeah,
I was there,
that
he's
was
like,
nice of him.
yeah, it really was nice of him. Thank you. But when I was there with Charlie and he was kind of massaging his Achilles, he said, Tom says I don't even get to use the term doctor anymore. And he was like all shitty about it. And I was like, yeah, you could do it, though. To me, you're still Dr. Mike.
I correct him in public when he's around his friend. Hey, Dr. Mike. I'm like, you can't call him that anymore. It's in the covenant not to compete. He can't be called
he was all
doctor.
salty about that, by the way.
Dude, I could just see him walking around that house party, just handing out.
Like his wallet, like
know.
somewhere, like in the middle of the party's wallet, just
Dropped
sitting
his
on a
wallet.
table.
Shit's falling out of his man purse, walking all over
Let me
the
explain
place.
this sticker to you. Put this sticker on.
Yeah, so for it, that was interesting.
There is no one like Forite in the universe.
Kramer.
I agree with that.
You're right, Joe.
Yeah.
He's Kramer.
Yeah, he's
He is-
passionate though. Like
Oh,
he's
my God.
passionate about.
I love Forite.
sugar.
Just like Kramer loves Seinfeld,
Me
and
too.
Seinfeld loved Kramer,
Yeah.
right?
Look at that vent.
4-8 is Kramer. I love it.
All right.
Anyway, every
4-8.
time on the road, it was not a lot of on the road because I was in grieving for 36 hours. I did hit a great stop yesterday at Boone County.
Yeah,
was
I think we got some
energizing.
photos on this, John. Can
It was
you pull those up.
energizing.
I didn't see any photos in the notes.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
they're in there.
They're in there.
Awkward.
All
Yeah,
right.
but it was energizing. I
Busy
walked
getting
in.
us on
I
Twitter.
walked into a room in Boone County, Red County, and it's just north of Indianapolis. It's up there by Hendricks, and Hamilton counties, and so I walk into both Chairwoman Erica and her vice chair, the unauthorized duo of Erica and Erica.
That is something, isn't it?
the unauthorized.
They're like, hey,
duo.
how you doing? This is Erica. I'm Erica.
Right, and they're supposed to be man woman to run the party, and so they call themselves the unauthorized duo.
Unauthorized.
Yeah, so the Ericas did a great job. The room was packed. I killed it, and I told everybody we're all going to win.
Yeah, I spoke to
was
Leandre,
my-
and he was saying it was a really good crowd. Overflow. He said it's standing room only at the Zions. So they do a pancake supper, which I think is a cute play on pancake breakfast. And it was standing room SRO.
It was good pancakes.
Pancakes are good whenever.
Right?
Breakfast is good whenever.
Dude, I was
Well,
smelling the bacon, and I was like, damn.
Oh, you
it's
And
pretty
I-
fun, right? Like a
I don't need
6
a fundraiser,
o'clock
but I was like,
dinner.
I love
pancakes and
pancakes.
bacon. That's
Do you
Pancake.
remember that Lent when you gave up meat and we had to go to a breakfast and you were just
You were just
eyeballing
Jones in the-
everybody?
And I made a frowny face with my bacon,
Yes, you did.
and I posted it. Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, I'm looking at this photo. By the way, was not loaded in for me when I looked at the notes this morning. But it is packed. Believe us.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the
jam-packed.
photo.
If John can get it
Wow.
up, he'll try.
John will get it up in season 8.
That's what.
Get
You
the
know,
picture
I
up.
put
My
you
bad.
assholes on Twitter, and you're still,
There he
still
goes.
getting shit about it.
Yeah, now get us some
Are we
viewership
still up?
on Twitter. Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
All
we're
right,
still
good.
up.
But anyway, so yeah, thanks to the Ericas, thanks to Boone County Democrats, thanks to President Biden for rocking the nation yesterday.
This was
with
something.
a huge marijuana announcement.
Oh, what's that?
Was that Siri?
Hello.
No, hello Siri. John.
That was my watch, my new Apple Watch Ultra.
You know what's crazy,
Going
dude?
crazy.
When I listen to Lockpod sometimes, and it's my voice, obviously, and I'll be listening to it, and my Siri goes crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, Siri hears my voice on the pod and thinks I'm saying, hey, Siri. In
Yes,
fact,
yes, America's
yeah.
mayor.
look at, hey, Siri, what's up? Please turn off. I'm in a podcast.
Oh, it just turned on. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. It always
Please
is.
turn off. I'm in a
America's
podcast.
mayor says what's up.
America's mayor says what's up.
I'm gonna have to change my name if I win.
There's a story. Tom didn't do that himself. That was
America's mayor.
On
I don't know how to
phone.
change it, but it is sort of. I am sort of America's mayor.
Sure.
I've been around for a
Why
long
not?
time. Why not?
Absolutely.
I'll be America's mayor.
But President Biden really surprised us yesterday. And actually, from what I read, he kind of surprised a lot of people on the Hill. There wasn't a lot of coordination between the president's executive order and the Hill. A couple phone calls to the. By the way, this is interesting, right? There is a on the Hill. There is a cannabis caucus, the Congressional Cannabis Caucus. You think you'd want to join that?
Yeah, day one.
So President Biden did this executive order where he
I
granted
bet you they
a
have
pardon.
great meetings.
And they are all
Because
in
marijuana's legal.
California.
No, but
Colorado.
marijuana is legal in D.C.
Absolutely, oh, you're right. It is.
So if you show up and you're a little bit
like on the
whatever.
table, there's just like,
Right.
what do you want?
Edibles,
Sativa?
obviously.
You want
It'd
an
be
edible?
indigo because you got excuse
Gotta
me,
stay
sativa,
awake.
so you can
Yeah.
stay awake, right?
But I thought it's interesting, right? What he did was he issued an executive order and granted a pardon to all people convicted of simple marijuana possession under federal law in what amounts to the most extensive White House action taken to date on this U.S. drug policy. So
It really wasn't that big of a move when you think about it. It's sort of like the quote unquote, the bipartisan gun control bill that was passed that didn't really regulate guns, but this is sort of the
it's
same.
like the first step.
Yeah, it's sort of like symbolic more than anything. Because how many people are going to federal prison on marijuana charges alone?
Or have a federal simple possession conviction. That's what it would pardon you on.
Right.
It doesn't like
Right.
you out of jail, right?
So if you're there for marijuana and guns and other bad federal crimes, they're like, okay, we kicked off the possession of marijuana part.
It basically would be like if you're at a Yellowstone National Park and you had weed on you.
Right, and got caught by a
and you got
ranger.
convicted, yeah.
Right,
So
okay,
you get
there you
that
go.
part. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, park in your national
it's
park.
kids we're talking
Yeah,
about.
probably, yeah.
Simple
Campers.
possession. If you
Simple
got caught with
possession.
4 pounds of it, you're probably not going to get
No, I think in fact it said that
I got caught with 4 pounds for
where's my
personal
pardon?
use.
Where's my pardon?
Yeah.
But so the key is to get it descheduled. So there's a schedule of controlled substances, and marijuana is a Schedule 1 controlled substance, and so they're saying like, oh, I was reading something about Congressional Cannabis Caucus, and they're saying it's great that they're trying to get it off of Schedule 1 and maybe down to Schedule 2, but the reality is we need a big federal plan that deschedules it, because that takes it off of anything where it would be, I guess, federally regulated, and that would allow it to be federally or legal throughout the United States, not just state by state. The other thing that was cool is the stats now are 37 states and D.C. have legalized medical marijuana. 19 states have legal adult use marijuana. 5 states are voting on recreational cannabis in the 2022 midterms. They are Missouri, Arkansas, North and South Dakota, and Maryland.
Wow.
So big R states.
Dakotas.
And the weird thing is congressionally, the Republicans are the ones that aren't, and some Democrats, by the way, aren't on board with the bills that are being floated. There's a bill in the Senate that doesn't have enough votes. There's been bills in the House that don't have enough votes to get this moving. And
I'll be a vote in the right direction
Absolutely.
for those advocates of marijuana legalization. On day one, I will be active participant in this endeavor. I will join the Cannabis Caucus. I will lead them to victory, the Cannabis Caucus.
Yeah, currently
We will charge forward with our green
with
capes.
your green capes. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Those would be great shirts, or like a jacket. Cannabis Caucus co-chair.
that's right.
Or something.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, they bet they have. I wonder if they have them.
I should remember that when people ask me, like, what
do you
committees
wanna-
do you want to be on? The Cannabis Caucus.
Can I start with just the
You don't want to be on
caucuses
armed services. You don't want to be, no. I just want to be on the Cannabis Caucus.
to start? I want to join the Cannabis Caucus.
And the Congressional Baseball Team. Is that a caucus? Like, by the way, if I get elected, the Congressional Baseball Team will definitely get better on
Really?
day one. On day one.
You're in.
Yeah. For sure.
They've got a new
That's a good
member.
reason. Democrats, support me.
Get the Democrats a
I can
better
play second
baseball
base
team.
all day on that
Do you
team.
have to
Alright.
try out, or are you just automatically on
No,
there?
but I talked to Congressman Frank about it because he plays on it, and he said it's very seniority driven.
Oh.
But I'm hoping to amaze them with my
like
talents.
a rookie out of Indiana.
But he's a
Yeah.
freshman.
Yeah. So, like, unless you're like a college baseball player, then they're probably more than happy to put you on the mound. But, like, if you're a freshman of, marginal talent, they're probably going to be like, you're behind.
Maybe you're on the double-A team.
There's like a 74-year-old batting ahead of you in the order because he's got more seniority than you.
I wonder if they have like a minor league congressional baseball team that you could hit.
I'm going to be on. I'm
the
gonna
big
be,
one?
dude. I'll be
In
a
the major
starter.
league?
I guarantee you, if I win, I'm going to start for second base. That's my goal. I don't care where I start. I just want to start so
You
I
wanna
can
be on
talk
the
shit
team.
to you.
Really?
I'll be like, "Bing, Kevin.
That'd be great.
I started.
That'd be cool.
Eat it."
That'd be cool. Get your own baseball cards. This is also
If
interesting.
I will wear
thought.
a Cubs hat for the record.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's thought this through.
I have thought this through. You guys think these things
Indianapolis
through, John?
Indians, Gary
I can't
Railcats.
just like, no,
Cubs. All right.
That's right.
I
I'm
like
old
it.
school.
I like it.
Indianapolis Indians, that's their baseball team?
That would be the politically correct thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so.
It's the Pirates, right?
How is that name
Pirate-
not changed yet?
You have to ask
Good
the Pirates
question.
organization.
Good question.
I mean, in
I'm
this
sure.
day and age,
I'm sure Mayor Hogshead appreciates you bringing that up, John.
Thanks,
Sorry.
John.
Yeah, thanks.
Cleveland Guardians.
One of our top listeners. You're offending him horribly right now.
Don't they have the tin caps down there? Too?
No,
That's Fort Wayne.
Oh,
That's Fort Wayne. That's also a minor league team.
Mm-hmm.
Man, see now you guys are making this decision much more difficult.
Well, you could just wear a
I could
different
be
cap,
political
different
and wear
day.
one of them, or I could just wear a Cubs hat.
Does
Because
South
everybody-
Bend have 2 minor league teams?
Cubs.
If
South
I wear
Bend
Cubs, I piss off the Indian fans in Indianapolis. I piss off the Tin Cup fans in Fort Wayne. I piss off the Gary Railcat fans, the Oilman fans, the Corn Dog fans, the White Sox fans.
Yeah.
And I make a small little segment of people who live in Chicago happy.
Who can't vote
Maybe-
for
Who
you?
can't vote for you.
Maybe I should rethink this strategy.
Yeah.
There's
huh?
a lot of Cub fans. You make the South Bend Cub fans happy.
That's true. South Bend Cubs. Thank you, Kevin. Good
Red
save.
You could say
Fans.
that's what you're doing.
I'm
I piss off the Red fans.
Yeah.
Cardinal
Said in
fans.
chat.
There
That's
should be
all
no
right.
Cardinal fans in this state. I think
really
we all agree
shouldn't.
on that. I know.
And there are.
I know. Stay in Illinois, right?
Here's another interesting stat, by the way, about this marijuana thing, because this is interesting. Polling consistently shows that roughly 2/3 of Americans support marijuana legalization. But despite the popularity of this legalization, fewer than 1 in 5 2022 primary candidates mentioned cannabis reform on their website on social media.
The problem with cannabis advocates is they always forget to vote on election day. Let's be honest.
Well, you would have been one of those. Not only did
You
you
just got to be like, call them up. Hey, get out of bed. Go vote.
Not
Don't
only
forget.
did you
got to
talk-
early vote these people.
or make sure they
Because
get
they'll
there.
forget. I mean, naturally.
Make sure if you have a stoner neighbor,
They're
make sure he's
stoners.
registered.
Yeah, get them early vote.
Yeah.
The stoners have to get out early, just so then the pressure's off. They can just go
Like,
back.
all right,
into-
go back to being a
Yeah,
stoner.
dude, go back to being a stoner. Like, get them when they're sober. Like, come on, let's go to the library. Let's vote you.
Come on, let's they're an animal. Come on, get in the car.
Let's
Like
go.
that Kramer, like the Seinfeld episodes.
We'll go over to the dispensary in
Hey,
Illinois
stoner,
afterwards.
come with me, stoner.
Come here.
I
Come
can
here.
say this stuff because I'm sympathetic to the cause. I'm
Sure.
wearing a Grateful Dead shirt, for God's
Yeah, that's
sakes.
right.
That's right. So don't be offended, stoners, that we're talking about you like this.
I've been to a Grateful Dead show and I did not have
know.
any.
I know. I was there to witness you
Yeah.
not doing it.
That's right.
People were talking about you.
They were. Who's this square?
Dude, they were like, "Is this guy? Is he a cop?"
Who's
I'm
this
like,
square?
"Yeah."
Sitting all the way, paying attention all the way
Kevin.
through space and drums.
People always think Kevin's a cop.
So embarrassing.
Is that guy a cop? Federal agent?
What do you think?
No, he's just my attorney.
We're off this topic. I give up.
Yeah, I think
Don't
this
keep
topic's
trying to
over.
bring
Go
us
to the
back.
next page.
It's, it's about weed. And
Can
we're
I-
like scatterbrained.
There you go.
Which is consistent
Makes sense.
with-
All right. Well, here is another interesting thing. There have long been big racial disparities in enforcement of marijuana laws. And this goes to what you've said on the trail. That's why I wanted to bring this up. Black people are nearly 4 times more likely than whites to be arrested for marijuana possession, despite both groups using the drug at roughly equal rates, according to a 2020 study by the ACLU.
I mean, unofficial surveys done by me as a public defender is most of the clients that I dealt with as public defenders that couldn't get out of these types of cases were African American or Hispanic, or more commonly, even more common than African American or Hispanic is poor. How about that?
There you go.
Is poor Americans are the ones that are getting convicted and serving time over marijuana
And have
laws.
this black mark on their record,
Right.
which at the end of the day, right, we're all about like, hey, we want to help people get out of poverty. We want to people get people educated and make sure that they can make a better life for themselves. And there's this black mark about like for a simple possession
Right.
that could stop you from getting a job,
Right.
getting a mortgage.
That's right.
All
I mean,
going
you're
to school.
trying to go to a school like Michigan or Notre Dame
Right.
or Butler or one of, any of these great private schools, and they look at your criminal record and you have a possession of marijuana. It's a crime.
Yep.
I mean,
and they ask, it's on your application.
And by the way,
They
the
ask you about it.
same kid in Illinois with caught in a similar circumstance doesn't have that mark on his record, and he gets into Michigan, and
Well,
the Hoosier gets left behind.
33 states, 19
I'm
states
telling you, man.
recreational.
The fact is, you're not getting charged with crimes in these states, and our kids are, and it's hurting them in their future.
And
That's a good argument right there, man.
I'm with you. I mean, for a simple possession charge, I absolutely agree. The other thing is,
When should you get charged with? First off, right now, I agree with and I don't love is and I do agree, even if it was legal, is police officers that come up to a car and smell marijuana gets them into the car
without a doubt.
so that if they find other drugs or guns, hey, God bless.
It's probable
that's
cause. You can't be
first off,
smoking and driving.
That's right. So like it would be just like if they pulled up and a car reeked of
Smelled
booze,
alcohol.
right? Then they could get into the car. It's the same thing.
We know
so
that
like,
is probable
and that's
cause.
no matter if it's legal or not. That's always going to allow officers to get into a car.
I agree.
Smelling weed. So
Good call.
So
Yeah, and I mean also like, the idea that you're not, I know the president even said this. He's not doing anything about dealing or something, anything to do with minors in having possession and things like that. This is all just about simple possession of adults. And, this is an economic driver as well. And you've said this, and you said, Indiana's going to be so far behind the times by the time they legalize it, they could miss the boat a little bit. And the legal cannabis industry is projected to hit, listen to this, $32 billion in sales this year, according to New Frontier data, with revenues expected to reach $63 billion by 2028.
that's great.
Wow.
So it's a big industry, and we're sitting here in Indiana where not only can you get arrested for it, can't make money, and our farmers can't make money, and people can't be entrepreneurs in it either.
The sad thing about this is, let's say it gets legalized federally, Indiana already missed out on the boom. And what's going to happen? This is the bad thing about legalizing it federally. Okay, and I'm an advocate of legalizing it federally, but I'm going to show you how our Indiana government has failed us and why. Even when this is legalized, we're still behind the times, is because in California right now, and I bet you in Michigan and in Illinois, they have more weed that could be smoked in a year by all of their residents, and that marijuana can't leave the state. It's trapped in the state of Illinois, and in California and in Colorado, and all the legal states have way more marijuana than the amount of residents could smoke in a year. Okay. And what happens is all the grow houses, all the technology that's been invested in all these cities and states where it's legal, as soon as the federal government takes the restriction off, all that excess marijuana is going to come to Indiana. And none of these marijuana companies are going to want to build in Indiana because they've already built out.
So basically, it allows for an export to other states.
Yeah. So we'll get a bunch of weed.
We'll get
in
shops,
Indiana.
but no.
We'll get the dispensaries, but we won't get the grow houses. We won't, And that's the sad truth, and I believe that that's the case, because I know when I was in California, they point out that the black market weed in California is dirt cheap right now. And by the way, California weed is some of the best weed in the world, from what I've heard, but from what I've been told. Mm-hmm. But they have way too much, and it can't leave the state. It's trapped in California, and if you cross state line, you're violating federal law, and then you get in real trouble.
Yes.
So they just leave it in California, and the residents are just drowning in weed right now. And like as soon as
there's
the
title.
Yeah, drowning in weed. And as soon as the restriction federally lifts, all that weed in California will come to places like Indiana. Will be buried in weed from other states.
Mayor, that's an interesting point. I had not thought about that, about the export market from state to state after the federal legalization, if that ever occurs.
We already
missed
missed it.
Point.
We already missed the boat. In Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Our government leaders in Indiana failed us in this regard. We could have been one of the states that had the billions of dollars of investment and all the brand new, green jobs that were created, and we missed it. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to come here. We'll get the dispensaries, like you said. We're not going to get the technical jobs. We're not going to get the grow houses. It's just we missed the boat already, unfortunately.
Well, wrap us up, because I've got to get you on a Zoom call.
Okay.
So
thanks for coming in, Joe. Good to see you again. I know Lynn's is back in business finally, but she was really sick. She was down.
Really?
Yeah, she was down for the count. So thanks for filling in.
She was all over that microphone you're on.
Yeah, it's all right.
Great.
Jay Vaz?
Hey.
Mission success.
Mission accomplished. On Twitter.
Yeah.
All four of you.
Good job.
Zach was in the chat quite a bit, actually. I noticed... God, he's got to be terrified watching these shows. Like, what is Tom going to say?
Constantly nervous, yeah.
But he made a good point. Well, he made a point. I don't know if it's... I'm not going to... Okay. Makes you wonder. Elon agrees to buy Twitter, and all of a sudden, Vesmar gets you streaming there. Right-wing conspiracy.
Interesting. Good point, Zach.
See, that's why he's the campaign manager.
Isn't he backing out again? Because now they pushed back, and they weren't going to give him the original price or something?
No, he's going through with it.
I think he's back because he was afraid of the lawsuit.
Yeah, they said that
they were going after him.
Deposed. Anything is, when you get deposed, they could ask you any question as long as it's reasonably related, right, Kev?
Yes, that's true.
So, like, if you go under deposition and he lies, you got bigger problems. So they're like, it's better for him, a guy that probably doesn't want to be deposed, just to pay the price and then flip it for a loss.
Yeah, he said, "I'll pay $44 billion." If in one of the conditions was he dropped the lawsuit. So,
dude,
he doesn't want to be deposed.
He'd rather pay $44 billion than be deposed. That guy's got some skeletons.
Dude, what the hell's going on with Elon Musk, right? For sure. Yeah.
Maybe someday he'll buy Lockpod.
Thanks, Fez. Appreciate it.
Good
Kevin
work.
Chandler, awesome job. We rallied again, late night pre-show rally.
Right off the road for you.
I know. That's what I've been doing lately, getting off the road and then pre-showing with Kevin. So you guys should appreciate how hard we work for this show.
This doesn't just happen.
It's a labor of love. So thanks for everybody.
It's a labor.
It is labor.
It's just a labor at this point.
Season 7, episode 15, the first Twitter in 170 episodes was a success, even though there was only like 3 people watching. Still a success. So thanks everybody for watching Left of Center. We're called Lock Pod, and don't forget to rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I will see you on Tuesday.
Register to vote.
Take it easy. Lock Pod is out.